guys, Ashlane here coming at you today with what I have discovered. It is one of the best 3-crown decks out there in the game. I now have, since I've recorded this, I'm actually recording the commentary separately because my first commentary kind of got screwed up. And since this, I'm on an epic streak for me of 6 3-crowns in a row. So, I wanted to go ahead and show you how I discovered this deck. It was actually a deck that somebody used against me. They 3-crowned me, and then when someone 3-crowns me, you know, I take note of it, and then I consider using the deck. And it was a pretty convincing 3-crown. Probably one of my worst losses ever. So you can see I'm actually playing Barbarians. Instead of Barbarians, you can play the Musketeer card in this deck. You can play Wizard, and you can play Ice Wizard. So it's kind of like a flex spot in this deck, the Barbarian card. Now, with the Barbarians in there, you get a great ground unit that really adds a lot to your ground game. The winning combo, the 3-crown combo, is the Prince, the Dark Prince, and the PEKKA. But what I did was I switched in the Barbarian, and I switched in the Fireball. I also switched in the Archers for the Princess because I still don't have the Princess card. But okay, so it still works out just beautifully. Now, you know, I'm still experimenting with that Barbarian slot. I think I might go ahead and add the Musketeer instead, or the Ice Wizard. Ice Wizard is nice because there's a lack of splash damage in this deck, seeing as how the Dark Prince is really my only splash damage besides the Fireball, which is direct damage. So the idea behind this whole deck is you want to combo the PEKKA, the Dark Prince, and the Prince all together, and then you have the free spell to use if need be. And you'll be surprised how fast you can pull off a 3-star. You can get some record-breaking 3-star action here in terms of how long it takes to do it. So you drop the PEKKA first, then you just drop both of the Princes behind the PEKKA. Then they kind of meet up all at the same time because the Princes are charging. Now at this point you would drop your Princess card as well, but here I drop Archers in the same place. And you can see all the units have a lot of hit points, so even the Skeleton Army isn't going to take them down. He drops a Golem, and I drop Barbarians, so we take down the Golem pretty quickly there. I'm going to go ahead and use a Fireball, take out the Princess. Probably could have aimed that a little bit lower, but doesn't really matter. All my units are staying alive at this point, and I have the free spell ready, but I'm going to go ahead and drop another Prince instead. But the idea here is this guy actually was pretty good. He did a really good job at kiting and distracting my troops. You'll see in a bit here, but I was still able to pull off the 3-crown victory. So at this point, he's crying, and I can't blame him because it's a very frustrating deck. I'm always coming at him with something big. So on defense, I can still use my Archers. I can still use Freeze if I really need to, but defensively, Archers and the Dark Prince are awesome cards defensively. So this deck has no troubles at all defensively. Now, the original deck, like I said, had Princess, had Ice Wizard, and it had arrows. I swapped those out for Fireball for the arrows, Archers for the Princess, and Ice Wizard or Barbarians, excuse me, for the Ice Wizard. Now, like I said, I've since put the Ice Wizard back in there because I need a little bit more splash damage, but really this deck can answer almost anything. In fact, I played against a guy who had Baby Dragon and Balloon, and I still 3-crowned him, and I only have one troop that targets air, so it's definitely doable, especially with the Freeze, if you use the Freeze wisely. So I'm using the PEKKA here against the Golem. He does a little bit of damage to my right tower. This is probably the longest it's taken me to 3-star since I've started using the deck. Dark Prince does really well against splash damage, so you can see he takes down the whole Skeleton Army really quickly there. And at this point is when the opponent here, he starts really kiting my troops all over the entire map, so he does a really good job here. He's able, I actually sacrificed the tower, but you can see I have 2 PEKKAs on the map right now. I have a Dark Prince, and now 4 Archers on the board, and I have another Dark Prince ready to go, drop the other Dark Prince. At this point, you can, with this deck, the cool thing about it is you're gonna go for a 3-crown. I mean, you have the firepower to totally take down the King Tower with this deck, there's no doubt about it. So the idea is, if you have to give up one of your towers, it's really not the end of the world. I came into this battle, and I'm coming into all my battles with this deck prepared to sacrifice a tower if it means I can get that much closer to the King Tower. This is what I was talking about by this guy doing a great job at distracting my troops. You can see maybe if I did have the Ice Wizard, it would be a little bit easier here, but that one Barbarian finally takes down that King Tower, and I can't help but give him the thumbs up there because it was really well played as far as kiting those PEKKAs and the Dark Princes from here to there to the other place. on the map. So let's go ahead and watch my other replay, and then we'll do a live attack, and hopefully I'll win. Maybe I won't, but kids, don't type in this website up at the top there on your computer, and let's go ahead and see how I pulled off this 3-crown victory. Like I said, 6 3-crown victories in a row. I am rolling. I'll update you in tomorrow's video at how long the streak continues. So against this deck, this is one of the decks with a balloon in it. I actually since fought one with a balloon and a dragon, but an air troop. So already I'm a little bit worried with the balloon. But Fireball actually does pretty well against a balloon, and obviously Freeze spell does as well. So I used the Freeze spell against the Valkyrie and the Archer because I had nothing else to play. At least I felt that way. But he wasted the Freeze spell on me too, so probably a bad move on both our parts at that point. So it's no harm, no foul, right? But now you can see what I have in my hand, guys. I have the P.E.K.K.A, I have the Prince, and I have the Dark Prince. That's the combo you want to pull off. That's the combo that can win you this game. So I drop the P.E.K.K.A, excuse me, first. I wait a little bit. After you drop the P.E.K.K.A, you want to wait till your mana gets, wait till your elixir gets back up to 10. Then you drop the Dark Prince, and then you wait a second and drop the Prince. Then they're all going to meet together. At this point, you can use the Fireball if you have it. You can use the Archers if you have it, or the Princess if you have the Princess. Or you can go ahead and wait for a Freeze spell if you have it. So there's a lot of flexibility. Once you get the Prince and the Dark Prince and the P.E.K.K.A on the board, really, the defender's going to be on his heels. He's going to be really struggling to try to combat this. So it's your job to supplement that big attack, that big rush, with your spell, your Freeze spell or your Fireball. So it works out really, really well. You can see now he has nothing to play. He has a Princess to play, but people don't know this. If you put a Princess way out off in the corner where he did, it's not going to distract ground units. So the P.E.K.K.A takes down that King Tower in one final swoop, and there it is, a quick 3-crown victory for yours truly. That was number 2. Alright guys, let's go ahead and do a live attack. This actually isn't really live. I recorded this live, but then the audio file that I recorded got corrupted for whatever reason, so now I'm doing the voiceover all over again. So this is what I was thinking about doing this live attack. I thought I'd add in the Ice Wizard to give you guys a different variation, immediately go into matchmaking, and immediately I am matched here. And what deck did I go up against here? I forgot what he was playing, but either way, when I have a starting hand like this, I'm prepared to use the Elixir Pump as the first card I play. So even if I was to have like a P.E.K.K.A in my starting hand, I'd still play the Elixir Pump. That way my opponent could make some moves and I got to see what he has in his deck. So he comes at me pretty hard here with a Dark Prince and then a Prince in the other lane. So I'm going to go ahead and counter his Prince with my Dark Prince because he can withstand that blow with his shield, and then the tower will finish off the Prince, and he didn't do too much damage to my left-hand lane. So no harm, no foul there. I have the Elixir Pump ready. I'm going to go ahead and drop a P.E.K.K.A in the left-hand lane. Now, that's a little bit earlier than I like to drop my P.E.K.K.A. I kind of like to use it as a surprise and then combo the Princes off him. But I just had a hunch that he was kind of low on elixir after that huge offensive splurge he had there. So my P.E.K.K.A does get to his tower, and he gets a couple swings on that left tower. I'm going to freeze as well, trying to get one more swing in there, seeing if he can take down that tower, and he does. How strong is a P.E.K.K.A if you can get him to that tower? Now, at this point, I have to be prepared for a little bit of defense here. So again, I'm going to drop the Frost Wizard and the Archer. The Frost Wizards and the Archers are actually really good at defense. The Frost Wizard will slow down your opponent, and the Archers actually do quite a bit of DPS for only 3 elixirs. So definitely include them, especially if you don't have the Princess card. If you have the Princess, well, all bets are off. You'll obviously want to be using her as well. So now I thought I'd sneak in a Prince in the right-hand lane, but he was ready for me with some Barbarians. Not a big deal here, but look in my hand. I'm starting to assemble my big combo here. I have the Dark Prince and the P.E.K.K.A, so I'm going to go ahead and reload, try to cycle in my Prince again, because I want to get that combo off. I want another 3-crown victory. So I do the pump, and at this point, I just want to wait for my elixir to grow. I want to make sure I have a nice elixir advantage, and sure, granted, I could play defense, but this is such an aggressive deck that I figure why not try to continue the 3-crown streak. So again, I'm going to defend with a Dark Prince as well as an Ice Wizard here, drop some Archers on the board, and at this point I'm thinking, you know what? I could probably just turn this into a big offensive push right into that tower right now, into the King Tower. So I do just that. I drop the P.E.K.K.A, then I drop the Prince to go along with the Dark Prince. He drops Barbarians, but it's not going to do a heck of a lot of damage. I'm going to drop a Dark Prince again, just in case he's coming at me with another Barbarians. The Dark Prince does really, really well against Barbarians, guys. If you didn't know that already, always counter Barbarians with a Dark Prince. It's a great counter. So now I'm ready with my freeze spell here. It doesn't even look like I need it, to be honest with you here. I have the P.E.K.K.A and the Prince on the King Tower. When there's a P.E.K.K.A and a Prince on the King Tower, well, that's probably more often than not going to end up with a 3 crown. And there it is, 11 hit points. I dropped the Fireball for the win. There it is, 3 crown victory. Guys, I hope you enjoy this deck. It is so good, and it's a lot of fun to play, too. It's a lot of fun getting 3 crowns, let's face it. So, guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care.